going to begin this hour with the Ukrainian president's historic visit to Washington. Volodymyr Zelenskyy and President Biden met for a show of unity in the Oval Office yesterday. He then later addressed a rare joint meeting of Congress. Zelenskyy asked for more help from the U.S. as lawmakers get ready to vote on another $45 billion in military aid for Ukraine as part of a larger spending package.
Our two nations are allies in this battle. And next year will be a turning point. I know it, the point when Ukrainian courage and American resolve must guarantee the future of our common freedom, the freedom of people who stand for their values.
Now, this was Zelenskyy's first trip outside of Ukraine that we know of anyway, since the Russian invasion began 10 months ago. And it comes at a very pivotal point in this war. Russia continues to target Ukraine's vital infrastructure, leaving millions without power or heat in the winter cold. Chief Foreign Affairs correspondent and Face the Nation moderator. There she is, Margaret Brennan. Hi, Margaret is with us from Washington. Margaret, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Last night, when the Ukrainian president addressed Congress, he also said he was talking to the American people and made it very clear, we need your help. We need your help now more than ever. What are the major takeaways that you could see last night?
Gayle, that was it. This was a sales pitch directly to the American people. President Zelenskyy rarely speaks in English. Both times I've interviewed him, it's in Ukrainian. He's most comfortable there. But he was speaking directly to the American people. And this is really a visit he couldn't afford to skip, Gayle, because right now, as Congress is poised to pass the largest Ukraine aid package to date, we're now totaling close to $100 billion. There are some skeptics in Congress who are particularly in the Republican Party and about to take power, saying they want to have more scrutiny of the aid as it continues. So he is really making the argument, as he did in that speech, in an impassioned way, that this is a fight for democracy jointly with the United States, that this is essentially a bargain. He said, we can fly the planes, we can drive the tanks, just continue to send them our way. And he spoke some of the language that will land well with Republicans, underscoring that Iran is now part of the fight, helping Russia. So this was really a sales pitch to the American people to say thank you and to appeal to their common humanity. And it was lightning fast, Gayle. He was here less than 10 hours, and I've never seen a standing ovation like that. Speaker Pelosi had to tell lawmakers, sit down.
It was long and prolonged.
Margaret, as I watched the speech, he in his battlefield greens, speaking in English, getting so many standing ovations, I thought, I wonder what Vladimir Putin is thinking in Russia, if he's watching or hearing. I mean, how does this go over with him and them?
Well, it of course is being noted when Zelenskyy makes this daring trip to the White House, to the capital of a superpower and the largest sort of arsenal of this democracy. And to date, Peskov, the spokesperson for Vladimir Putin, has said that this just shows the United States just wants war, that there is no interest in peace. I think two things that were clear here in Zelenskyy's remarks. He was trying to speak to those who were skeptics of the war, also saying he wants peace, saying he presented President Biden with a 10-point peace plan, but Vladimir Putin isn't the one willing to negotiate, and also that they need more weapons. We are at a point where Ukraine is expecting a new Russian offensive. Russia controls 18% of that country, and it is cold. They're weaponizing the cold weather, turning off the electricity, freezing civilians. This is about to get even more brutal. And so the message to Russia here is that the United States will, at least for now, continue the funding. The package that's about to pass is expected to last through about May of 2023. But President Zelenskyy said, honestly, it's not enough weaponry.
Margaret, you mentioned President Zelenskyy saying things that scored well with the Republicans, but some Republicans actually missed the address because they oppose the funding of this war. How do you see all of this playing out as it pertains to the political tension between the parties?
Well, you know, to date, Nate, when people would ask me, is there anything bipartisan in Washington, I'd say two things, China and Ukraine. That's now changing. The Republicans who are taking control of the House, some of them, including the man presumed to be in leadership, Kevin McCarthy, as well as Steve Scalise, who is going to be one of the key leaders in the Republican Party, have said there will be more accountability, there will be more scrutiny of aid, saying it won't be a blank check. That's not saying aid will be cut off, but it's signaling that some of those more right-wing members who have protested Zelensky's visit do find an audience with them, at least to a certain point.
Margaret Brennan, happy holidays and thank you.
Happy holidays to you, too.